saving talk. Big Ans Harper, the man with the pack mule, obediently half-hitched the lead rope around a convenient snag of the deadfall, dropped gratefully alongside Jepson. "She's a powerful long uphill haul for only 1 feed of cold fat back and no noon halt coffee," he observed, not ill-naturedly. "Seems like we've been walking since last week. My feet ain't been so sore since we used to make them 30-mile night marches up the Shenandoah, when old Jack got took with the notion to cut himself off a regiment of bluebellies for breakfast. Crapsomity!" "Well," grumped Jepson, "we dasn't have lit no noon fire out yonder on that flatland. Likely you know that well as I do." He bent his head toward the distant basin, the eyes of the others following his. The talk fell off. Presently Alec MacDonald, the third man, nodded his shaggy gray head, agreed in his pleasant Scots burr. "Aye, Jepson lad, what ye say is true enough. 'Tis indeed a chancy land we're trespassing on." Caswell, the fourth man, said nothing. They continued to sit, four thoughtful, wool-shirted human limbs growing silently out of a dead and down Judith Mountain cedar spar, 7,000 feet above sea level, and 27 miles from the nearest white settlement beyond Fort Buford, Montana, September 2nd, 1875. Breaking the spell, Jepson dug out a big 6-ounce cud of trade plug and passed it along. "Shave it thin," he admonished needlessly. "How many plugs we got?" asked Big Ans, paring with proper solicitude the one he held, before handing it along to MacDonald. 4 dozen, answered the unimaginative Jepson. "It'll be a plenty, mixed in with a little red willow bark or larb leaves, and allowing for a normal winter." "Yeah," smirked Big Ans deliberately. "A normal winter, and no unexpected company." The tense swiftness with which the others jumped their eyes from the sun haze of the basin to the big man's calm face was the most eloquent reply they could have made. Yet Caswell, the least in years and last in experience among them, had to say it. "You mean the Sioux, Ans?" "Sure. Why not, Yank? Them and the Cheyenne. Most likely the Sioux, though, and then most likely the Hunk Papa." "Well, we all knew that before we started out," challenged Jepson, not wanting the expedition to come down with a case of camp nerves the first day out. "Old man Reed told us, and afore that we was told at Fort Buford. No call to go to talkin' hostels now. We ain't none of us come up here thinking we was on no church picnic." He paused, thinking it over. Presently he nodded. "The game brings the wolves, and the wolves is what we're after." True to granite-headed habit, Jepson picked up the dropped stitch of his own thoughts, as though the others had said nothing, and as though he and the cedar log were alone in the Montana world. To get prime wolf, you got to go where the game is. And when you get to where the game is, you wind up where the Injuns are at. It ain't really very complicated," he concluded with a humorless headshake for the unconvinced Caswell. "But at the same time, don't let aunts nor nobody ever josh you none. We're passing likely to see some trouble." "Well, so long as we see it, we're all right," said Big Ans cryptically. He stood up, reaching for the pack mule's rope. "I'm cooled out sufficient. How about the rest of you?" he announced tentatively. "I say let's get on over the ridge and set up camp for the night." Jepson did not move to follow him up off the cedar spar. Instead, he shook his head, looking around speculatively. "I'd say this looks pretty good right here. We got water just down the gulch, plenty of firewood waiting to be picked up inside of camp, reasonable, decent browse for the mule on close-in picket. I allow we'll throw..."